to quickly mention, this one is just what's happening for December, and I'll put that in the, I didn't put that in the description, but either way, I'm just going to go through what I've got here. So I do have, this one is I will also be pulling from the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and this is again Sacred Destiny, Denise Lynn cards. So what I see here is I just pulled 3 cards, and what I'm seeing as the message for you in the month of December is that you're working on something that has a lot of potential. So this is definitely a time where, this is where, anything that is, something is building, there's a lot of energy behind it, and it just feels like it's going to be flowing a lot more readily. So I did pull the clarifiers with the Eight of Cups and so on, but overall, the card of potential is one that you are going to be erupting like a volcano, is what the card depicts. So this is a time where there's a lot of energy. Things are going to be a little bit more unpredictable here in the month of December. And that does speak to the other deck as well. There is something about going with the flow. Again, I did pull the clarifiers for the potential through that one here in just a minute. So when I see the card of flow, this is go with the flow. This is definitely a time for you to kind of just navigate the waters as things come in. Take things a little lighter. Don't take everything so seriously. Don't attach meaning to it. Don't attach consequences or any kind of, just let it flow through you. This is a time for you to lighten up entirely. So I feel like this is also that reminder. What is it? There's a that says be like water. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the Bruce Lee had made some kind of reference to, be like water. Just let things roll off your shoulders at this point. Don't take anything too seriously in the time of December. No resistance, just use the flow and the life force and let it expand, let it heal. All of those things really comes into play here for the month of December. So don't let the current life events or changes overwhelm you. Don't be critical of those changes. Don't be judgmental about anything that's coming in that somehow impacts you, because you'll find blessings in it if you stay in that space of detachment and healing. So again, letting things flow through you. And I feel like you will be coming into that space here with healing chaos. So there is something around this period in December, where things that had spiraled out of, control, and were maybe around situations that seemed very intense. I feel like this is that space now where things have moved in such a way that it's turned up enough, hot spots that you are now able to, you're activated to heal, because you now know where all those hot spots, you know, left marks on areas of your heart, or areas of, the places of yourself where you weren't quite secure or whatever. So this is you healing on all levels. And this is being in a space where you could also be a healer. But in the month of December, take everything lighter, because you're going to be at a point of, you'll find that point of calm is really what the card indicates. So it's a time to just really speak to enjoying the moment, mix things up a little bit, but at the same time, take things a lot lighter. I'll get to the other cards here in a second. There is something that's going to be very unexpected coming in here as well, but I'll get to that further out. So with again, the card of flow, and of course that is with the Eight of Cups, so it does still speak to you letting go of things that are just not helpful to resolving a situation. So you're just feeling like you can let go, or again, this is sort of advice driven as well, but for those of you that are in this energy already, you're just walking away from anything that is too confrontational, or anything that is, in a space where it's not in good gratitude or creating a good memory. You're in a space where you're on a journey now where you just want to be guided to find your happiness. You're okay with the twists and turns and the things that are coming your way, but you're now in a space where you're starting to get over some of those difficult feelings, those difficult thoughts, or whatever was damaging sort of, you or the long-term situation. So there's something there about turning a cheek to the changes that are arising. You've addressed some of your fears at this point, and so I think you've made some changes to find your happiness and identify, what you were scared of, and that's going to be easier to move through now. Some of that energy may have been around relationships with the Two of Cups. So this could be a very significant relationship to you. Doesn't have to be a love relationship, but it's one that's a very impactful relationship. So certainly somebody could be also going away at this point, but there is some strong partnership or attraction or emotional bond, whatever it is for you. Again, this is where you're going away from that chaos and that burden of the Ten of Wands. So again, this is, where there's maybe a little bit more equality or a little bit more give and take or a little bit more understanding, you know, um, about those imbalances around that connection. But you're understanding what were triggers around that connection. But either way, that's over there pretty much. Maybe loose ends with the Ten of Wands, but pretty much moving into this area of Chariot. Chariot definitely is a card of success. Definitely is somebody is moving off in a different direction. Could be a connection is moving off in a different direction here as well. But the hardship that was around it is finishing up. So things will be moving into more of a positive with the Chariot. So it's not trying to stand in the way of the changes. It's really more in line with being more determined, being more focused. There's more movement in a particular direction that you're focused on. Again, there's some things that are still yet to be revealed here with the High Priestess energy. Something is going to come in. And again, there's something around the high or around the unexpected that came out in the other deck here as well. So something is about to change here, or that's going to be new information in the month of December. I don't know if it's so much new information because I usually see another card of Ace of Wands or something like that, but it's almost like there's a letting go of control over something, but in light of being still and following dreams, that kind of thing. So you're just being mindful of your intuition at this point. I feel like you are also in that space of a starting point for developing a deeper connection to yourself in December. I feel like your decisions are going to be based more so on your intuition as well, both emotionally or externally here. And I feel like this is, again, you're releasing the heavy, because this is more of a passive card, so this is more of an aggressive card. So I feel like you're trying to release some of the over controlling kind of nature and able to either introspect and recharge, or align yourself in a process that helps you to take more in versus aggressively expanding something. So I feel like there's a little bit of internal energy going on here, but there's more self-focus either way. The next card out was the, sorry guys. Okay, so back to the card of potential. So the card of potential came out with, sorry, one sec here. The card of potential came out with the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Empress. So there is potential in a particular idea with the Queen of Wands, or again, for some of you, this may resonate as a relationship. But the Queen of Wands is still that energy around Leo, Sagittarius, something like that seems to be more strongly focused or in line for me anyway. But either way, the Queen is definitely more of a resourceful energy. It's more of a softer energy where, again, this could be you or another person, but there's more of an extroverted sort of nature with this card here. So there's somebody who wants to be more fun, more of a warmer energy. Could be a little disorganized as well, but there's also a sense of just burning a little bit more brightly with the confidence, with the optimism. Somebody who has that ability to sort of spark an idea and really bring things, bring the energy up in a room. So this is also that space where I feel like you're connecting with maybe more of your charisma, more outgoing, that kind of thing for some of you here as well. But there's also sort of that energy because of the potential card. I feel like there has been a storm or a drama around you, but it's almost like you are being a lot more playful with it because your self-worth is increasing here. Um, and I just feel like there's just more of a positive energy where you're maybe picking up the pieces, more belief in yourself, that kind of thing. There's more potential in that story. The Eight of Wands is there could be some kind of communication coming in about abundance very, very quickly. And this, I feel, is also a very healing energy, or it could be in around a mother, this mother figure. So again, whether this is you or another person, there's some kind of quick information that's incoming that speaks to there being a very positive, either abundant path in some way, or there's a lot of fertility around something. There's a lot of nurturing in this environment here, and it's definitely speaking to abundance of some sort. So this could be more maternal, this could be more nurturing to self. This could also take the energy of uh, finances or something abundant that maybe not coming in as direct finances, but you're hearing about something more abundant that's coming in, something that's going to be of a blessing to you. Again, there's still the energy of being focusing more on self-care, taking care of yourself, like I said, recharging your batteries, changing your environment, whatever it is for you. But I feel like you believe in yourself here more in the month of December, and you're focusing on not so much on what you have, you're focusing more so on what you have, not what you don't have. So it's that kind of energy here. But again, you're taking advantage of this heightened energy, heightened ideas, heightened abundance, and so you're going with the flow. You're healing chaos more specifically for some of you with a water sign. Again, could be Cancer specifically, or Cancer, Pisces, that kind of thing. But King of Cups is also using a certain amount of, could be, again, whether this is representing mother, father figure as well. There's kind of a healing of that energy between the two here as well. So Kings are all about a mature energy. So I suspect there is a mature person in the mix here. But either way, there's a calm approach, more of a diplomatic, tolerant one during the time of December with this person that you're dealing with. And certainly feels like you are, or someone is an anchor for a situation because there's a healing taking place here. So the feelings are that were strong are now starting to balance out. There's not a lot of extremes. There's a release somehow from destructive emotional kind of energy. Um, Maybe because everybody's being a little more honest or something with what the situation is, or something's more accepting. But the Ten of Swords indicates to me there's still sort of a trailing energy around it, but the Ten of Swords does speak to that being there's an end to it. This is in the final stages of whatever that ruin or whatever, that there's a relief in sight here with this energy. So there's no more of, facing your worst fears or going through communication issues. There's less anxiety, all of that. There's more of a liberation and more of an abundance, more of a giving kind of energy here. Something that you've survived, healed, over an ordeal. But either way, I just feel like you are now less caught up with the negative and more in a place of peace. Getting to the final cards out. So we are now in the space of the unexpected. So there is something, and maybe that's what's unexpected. Maybe you did not expect there to be a healing energy here with that card. Because the card of the unexpected certainly does speak to, being in a space where you can now trust a process, or you can feel like you are at one with something. But either way, because there's a lot of cards of healing and all of that too, I just feel like you're in a space now where, no matter how well you plan, is what the card indicates, there's more room for unexpected things to come in. So you might have to build up your resistance in, or your resilience in one way, is what the card indicates, but it's also a card of taking advantage, setting intentions, to go after the things that you want, but it's also something that you never felt could happen. So there's something around that. Um, it's some kind of a surprise that's coming in here. And again, card of the void. That definitely speaks to something that has been in the wings here, something that is kind of a reset where there's a lot more of a release. There's a lot more understanding. You're not resisting anymore. There is a spot here of letting go of negative patterns and habits, that kind of thing. So I feel like you're really going to be able to attract more of a powerful you. Sorry, guys. Because you're now feeling more rested, like you're feeling like everything is you can't understand everything, you don't know all the answers, and whatever was unexpected you couldn't have foreseen, but it still feels like it's a letting go of the old and moving in the direction of something that is a fresh start. The card of pleasure, and this gives way to a new energy, of course, to indicate that you are now in a space where you're going to be allowing for more pleasure to come into your life. So I feel like you actually are in that space of really inviting in a lighter side of yourself. So there's something here that speaks to taking life a lot less seriously. There's something here again where you can start to look at the things that make you happy, and it's about finding activities that make you happy, and it's also about forming new patterns. Anything that was destructive, you're going to be doing the reverse of that, because a big part of pleasure is letting go, so that you're surrendering, so that you can actually enjoy the process. You can enjoy the journey, so you're not worrying so much. This is about being more joyful in this period in December. So there's a lot of really good things here, but again, something really unexpected that's coming through in the month of December that somehow benefits you. We also have the card of the extremes. So again, in that card, it's about learning how to handle things with a calm, diplomatic way of dealing with things. It's also about seeking the balance so that you can deal with the conflicts or the outrage or the whatever the situation is that was disruptive for you. And again, I feel it's because you're just not taking in the meaning behind every word, or and applying it to a situation, and you're just going with the flow. There's more of an ease, a sense of ease in the month of December. So again, even if it's in terms of losses, job losses, or I'm not saying there is a job loss here, I'm just saying in a general way, anything that speaks to a big change in your life, and things do change very quickly. This is that time of, you're wiser for everything that you've gone through. So it to me speaks to you being able to navigate those extremes, and you know that it'll pass. So you're a lot more prepared in some way here now. The card of darkness. So again, I think the extremes that you're balancing through were, you're able to strategize more so now. So I feel like that's your savings grace, is you can strategize, you can work through the shadow work. Um, you're able to work through your fears. You know what you were sort of hiding from yourself, and now this is a part of you that it becomes your power instead of a weakness, because you, on self-reflection, you identify what was working, what isn't working, what's causing pain, and you are aware of what destructive patterns there are out there, or that you see within yourself. And so you're able to navigate it by releasing them, or at least, at the very least, transforming them. Sorry, and that was the other thing. I know I go off on tangents. There was something that I was talking about with regards to relationships, and I always better when I write it down, so I don't have to try to think on the spot with no food in me anyway. But the thing about they were talking about relationships, and how, because we're at a world now where everything is self-gratification, everything is so immediate, that we have a criteria set out for ourselves, and we're not willing to tolerate any kind of change or anything that doesn't meet up to the list. And part of that, they say, is really because of the internet and the way that things are laid out. So the internet tells you, that there is only one thing that you should be looking out for, and that's number one. And I believe that that's not really the way to, and I think for the most part, Libra is probably going to be the most balanced about that. That it's not about looking after number one. I mean, yes, look after yourself first so that you can create a foundation for everything else, but it's also about creating a situation where there's a level of negotiation so that whatever you're sacrificing, somebody else is also sacrificing something so that you can sort of meet in the center. So it's something along that line versus just trying to meet your wish list of what somebody else should look like or should behave like, that kind of thing. As long as everybody's getting something out of it, and you're building in a more positive direction, everybody has a sense of what they will accept, what they won't tolerate. And certainly, if it's damaging to you in an extreme way, that's not the route to go. But it definitely feels like there is something to consider there. That the power and the influence of the internet and how it shapes our relationships with people and how we create new rules for how things have to be. And in reality, we are not in that space of tolerance. We're in one of, and so I think that's going to impede on our relationships overall if we don't learn to navigate and negotiate and find a way to meet in the middle. So there's something more I could say to that, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Just that's the general gist of it anyway. So sorry, back into the cards there. So that is what I have for the month of December. There is something unexpected coming in that I feel is going to benefit you in a very positive way. So look forward to that. Be interested to see what that is. But overall, maybe I'll just do one last card for the month of December as advice. What is the advice for Libra in the month of December? Advice for Libra in the month of December. Faith. Loving and then letting go is not only one of the most challenging things we can do, it's also the bravest. Take big, deep breaths and know this is right. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. That's what your message is for the month of December. Keep moving forward, Libra. And I will do another read. I did pull one that was a little bit more random, not specific to a time, which I will also include here in the next